Is this small box over here? Do you know what it is? Alexa. Alexa, yes, Alexa door. So, who of you has one of these rather unruly beasts at home? All right, cool. Did you order a dollhouse? Yeah, that's Alexa is brilliant. It's been a focus of media last couple of months. You might have seen a lot of ads, and the voice assistant service is really coming. And I will show you how we connected Alexa, that's really good interface, playful, entertaining, with our open bank. Our open bank, it's the open API bank connected to RBS Blue Bank API prototype. And yeah, let's get started. First question, I'm a really curious guy. So how many accounts do you have? How many bank accounts do you have? So so one account. Right, okay, there's a couple of people, 5, 2 accounts. All right, cool. 3 accounts. Oh, all right, cool. 4 accounts. All right, 5 accounts. All right, wow, 6 accounts. Right. So, yeah, let me ask you, Oleg. So, why do you have 6 accounts?
Well, I use them as the budgeting tool. Every account could represent a specific category of expenses.
That's good. So, of those 6, 5, 4 accounts, are those the traditional, let's say, traditional bank accounts like RBS, Barclays, or do you have like that new generation bank accounts like Bonzo, Startling, Atom Bank? So who has a digital bank? Who is with the digital bank? Right. So Philip, so what is your experience?
Well, pretty good.
So, are you with
Fidor in Munich?
Cool. Yeah.
And also another French bank.
That's brilliant. I'm with Bonzo. I've been with Bonzo since May 2016. Has been a brilliant experience. They got a full license and a really digital bank, digital central bank, and they have API already in place. But today I'm going to talk about the general concept of open banking and how this kind of revolutionary idea will reshape the retail banking market. But first, I would like to introduce my friend Alexa here. She's going to help me a lot. Sometimes she gives me quite a hard time, but I mean, she's really helpful. But let me test one thing first. Alexa, open iBank.
Thanks, Miro. It is great to have such a fantastic audience and share platform with Stefan here at Data Lab. Oh, unfortunately he couldn't come tonight. Let's keep calm and carry on. This will be both exciting and challenging. I promise to help Miro with his presentation and demo of my capabilities. If there is a technical problem, which can happen due to unstable Wi-Fi connection, don't panic. We have a video backup. Now, hold your breath. Make a wish. Count to 3. Sit back and enjoy the ride to the world of open banking.
Thank you, Alexa. All right, so small interaction. So she's still with us. Then she'll be helping a lot in the second phase of the presentation when I'm gonna show you a demo. But first, so banks, some people say, oh, bank, I don't like my, banker. It's always painful to wait in the queue. They're not actually helping me. And this is actually a serious study. You might not see it. I will turn off the lights. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, let's do the. Right, so this is a serious study conducted by McKinsey in 2016, and they asked people 15, 30, and there's really a big group of people who are really dissatisfied with the traditional banking. Why is happening? This is all because of the technological advance we can see with all the products. Let's say I can start with Netflix, Google, Facebook. So we see the technology penetrating in every single aspect of our life. But banking, it's been a bit untouched. It's due to regulation, compliance, and the whole industry, it's conservative for good reason because they manage your pension, your money, and your savings. So, but this change is coming. I will focus on open banking, and this is important because there is a very important piece of legislation coming into effect. It's the PSD2, which is the Payment Service Directive, which is coming into effect January 13, 2018. This will be forced upon all banks to open their data to authorized third-party companies. So, couple examples. You will be able to make payment, let's say with Facebook, because Facebook will be connected to your bank, and you will send money to your friend through your Facebook Messenger. This is nothing new. In China, WeChat, which is the Alipay umbrella company. No, Alipay is umbrella company of WeChat. You can send, and there are almost 400 million active users using the WeChat payment in China. All right, so a bit about me. I'm not gonna spend too much time. So we were supposed to have a Stefan here from Silicon Valley. I was lucky enough, I lived in Silicon Valley for 3 years, where I worked as a operations engineer at SanDisk, a semiconductor company. You might have SanDisk flash drive at home, or if you have iPhone, you have a SanDisk flash memory in it. So I'm originally from Czech Republic. Last 7 years I've been traveling, living in 7 countries. I studied at Georgia Tech in Atlanta, United States. And my current job is, as it was mentioned, it's a senior IT, I call it data model or data enthusiast evangelist at Sopra Steria here in Edinburgh. And for me, sky is the limit. I love cycling, as you can say, and also I love big red bridges. So this is amazing. This is December 13, and this is December 12. It was a bit chilly, but still all right. So Edinburgh has quite nice weather in winter. So, but that's me. I'll be happy if we can connect it on LinkedIn or after the presentation. And very important, if you have any questions, feel free to ask anything. I'll be happy to have a dialogue here. So, open banking, financial services industry. We've seen a lot of these headlines, and in this country we are lucky. There are a couple of factors which makes the United Kingdom a financial hub, financial services, FinTech hub, if you will. Couple things. Melba Fogo, my financial services director at Sopra Steria, said that the banks will have to really work hard to reinvent themselves, because the traditional banking as we know it will actually end. The technology will affect traditional banking. We can see a lot of FinTech companies, TransferWise. Who use TransferWise on a daily basis? Yeah, I see a lot of hands up. Same here. As I said, Bonzo, TransferWise was the actually first FinTech unicorn. That means the company's evaluation is higher than $1 billion. Then it's happening. It's really happening, and it's going to be really rapid. And why this is happening? Why, because we've seen dot-com wave and the bubble all at the same time, going from 90s, 2000, and all these companies. Facebook has been here for some time, but why now we see this technological revolution in banking now? So there are a couple of factors. I just pick up 3. It's the weak economy. I would say more it's the margins, because banks seeing really low margins. That means they really have to find new avenues how to generate revenue and profit. Regulation after 2008 financial crisis, Dodd-Frank, Basel III regulation, again put additional burden on banks. So the margins are even lower, and it's really difficult to really navigate or to actually carry on in terms of traditional business model. And the third, the last not least, it's actually the most important, is the digitization. As I said, it's changing. And why is that? Because we, as consumers, are really comfortable, and we use technology on daily basis, Facebook, Google, and we kind of demand pretty much the same services from our local bank. Why do I have to go to the bank if I want to change my address? It's really annoying. I don't have time. There's always queue. Why can't I do it online? When I log into my online banking, that means I authorize myself. If I can change, my password for my Google account, why can't I change address for my bank account? Or for instance, PIN. If I forget PIN, I have to go to the local branch, or I will receive the paper mail with new PIN. Bonzo Bank, you just take your selfie, put in your password, and they will send you a new PIN within 5 minutes. Sunday, midnight, 24/7. So it's happening and it's possible. So why can't the traditional banks have the similar model? Again, regulation, coming back a bit, FCA, Bank of England, special FCA, which is the Financial Conduct Authority, main regulator here in the UK. It's really entrepreneurial, and we are lucky to have really innovative regulator. They pushing really the innovation in banking. A couple examples. One of which is the payment directive. Second, they organize hackathons. If you're not familiar with the term hackathon, a hackathon it's it's an event where developers, business people come together and they try to hack in terms of improve existing services. So they organize hackathons. They have a sandbox, so you can connect to the FCA interface and just play around and see what new features are coming. All right. So the transformation, what's really happening here is we have a resilience, reorientation, a renewal. So first, resilience. This is for banks. That's pretty much the roadmap. First, resilience. They have to come back and see how to their business model more efficient. That means cut costs, streamline operations, become leaner. That's the defensive phase. It's the improve the health of the balance sheet and restore revenues and pretty much do the housekeeping. The first is the reorientation. This is more, if resilience it's the defense, the reorientation is the offense. So it's really going there, change the business model, really to focus on customer, listen to customer, really to change the business model radically and adopt the technological advance and new technologies. And one of the points is to cooperate with FinTech companies. So not to see FinTech as the enemy. They might be disrupting the whole industry, but it's all about how to team up with these companies, how to, let's say, integrate their model to the bank existing business platform. And IT is gonna play major role for the traditional banks. Some people at RBS, I can name the bank, saying that in 5 years' time, the bank will be 50% IT company and 50% the customer service. So the IT is going to play a major role, and you see the budget, the bank's budget growing. And it was a really interesting thought that really struck me. In 1990s, Bill Gates said that the banking is necessary and it's good, but banks are not. So he foresaw that banking is going to change. We won't need to go to the physical branch. We just need banking, because banking, it's in a nutshell, it's bringing people with credit and with the ideas together. So it's the banking. So reorientation, renewal. It's really that bank will become a platform. of digital services. It's not going to be only the place where you can get a credit card, mortgage, a loan. It's going to connect all the different services. It will alert you when your overdraft is too high, or if you pay high fees on your overdraft. It will also recommend, let's say, the better utility company, because it will be connected to the utility companies. It will be scanning and checking all the tariffs, and will say, okay, you can save, let's say, 20% if you change. And if you authorize your bank, it will change automatically without you doing anything. So it's the bank will be connected to any services you can imagine. I have a couple ideas, but let's get there. I have this my favorite slide. Can you just guess what it is? What all these figures represent? Big numbers. This is the investment into FinTech, and you see it's pretty growing. The FinTech, it's the financial technology industry. It's growing from 4 billion to all the way to 150. This is McKinsey study again. And so the global financial market is of say $13 trillion today. $13 trillion. I can imagine the number. That's the current market. US as the biggest player, it's 1.2 trillion. UK, it's 124 billion pounds, which is 160 billion dollars. But the FinTech has potential to steal up to 4 trillion of the 13. It's almost 1/3 of the whole market. So there's a potential that the companies like Bonzo, TransferWise, peer-to-peer lending, all these banks, PayPal, we know PayPal, it's a FinTech company officially. So they can really steal up to the third of the market. So there's a big potential. And we already seen all these acquisitions, as I said, Reorientation. Traditional financial institutions are teaming up with the FinTech companies. So first is Deutsche. They just invested into Trustbill, which is the company that connects sellers and short-term investors on the receivables market. And this market, it's worth of 17 trillion euro. So they teaming up this new innovative company because, again, one gentleman from one unnamed bank said, "Oh, we know how to do banking. We know everything about risk, credit cards, mortgages, but we need someone, let's say, from tech companies. We need someone to really reshape the digital services." So that's why the big banks are very often they are not able to innovate themselves from within. So they get a new, let's say, fresh air, new companies through acquisitions to innovate their business model. Again, BlackRock, Scalable Capital, it's a really interesting company. It's very similar to British Nutmeg. That's a robo-advisor. It's the ETF. If you invest, it's algorithmic trading, but not equity trade. I wouldn't say, because algorithmic trading we can picture all these milliseconds, microseconds trading. Robo-advisor, it's more, it's the computer program that knows your profile, knows your goals, and invest into financial instruments based on your profile. And BlackRock just invested a couple of weeks ago 30 million euros into Scalable Capital. Same for BNP Paribas. Comptenical is the digital bank. So we can see it's a 200 million, and flagship is the Florida Bank, community bank, that team up with Bank Mobile. So this is just introduction, but this is very important. I mean, that's the where do we fit as a country on the map of FinTech hubs? So you can see Silicon Valley, UK, Singapore, Hong Kong, again New York, obviously Wall Street. These are traditional finance centers. I would say, it depends how you measure all these indexes, but UK has a really unique mix of finance knowledge. I mean, London, Edinburgh, and tech talent. And we see a lot of new companies, and also I have to say we are really fortunate. The Scottish government in particular been really supportive and helping to set up a FinTech hub here in Scotland. So we see this is happening, but the competition it's quite tough. So Singapore is one of the leading hubs, and I just overheard that Scotland has really good ambition, and there's a good prospect to become in FinTech like a Singapore. So that's one. So if we look at the local UK market, London and Edinburgh, Leeds, Manchester, and Glasgow. So can you recognize any of these companies? So there are a couple. There's TransferWise over here next to Big Ben. Bonzo. Actually, it's still Mondo. It used to be Mondo, and now it's Bonzo. So see and it goes all the way from insurance, payment, banking, eToro. eToro's been quite aggressive in terms of digital currencies. If you trade Bitcoin, Ether, or Ripple, eToro will pretty much will flood your Google browser with all these ads because they're looking for more investors. And you see, so the industry is quite diverse, and it's evolving. So just this slide, I said there are a couple of forces that pushed banks to rethink and reinvent their model, but what consumers say. So we had a discussion, somebody has up to 6 accounts, and but why like the digital banking is so attractive? So it's just easy to use. It's just amazing. Last time I was asked by my high street bank to provide the documents to prove to prove my identity. It would be utility bill, passport, whatever. With Bonzo now it's very easy. You just take a picture with your phone and you send it through the app to the bank. There is no mail, no upload button, nothing. You just do it. Everything is in the app. You take your face picture, your selfie, and that's all. It's working, and it's actually it's the FCA compliant, so it meets all the regulation. Then you can see the experience. I really envision the day that my bank, I will have fully customized online banking. So I'll give you an example, because last year I went to one hackathon, and we were looking at how to customize the online banking experience, because now usually you have an app, and that app is same for everyone. You can do some changes in layout, but what if, let's say, you are on the move? So based on your GPS, your geo location, you're outside your home, you walk in, you just catch a train, you open your mobile bank app, and you don't want to see all these details on your mortgage or your credit card. It's like you need to know your bank account balance. It's easy to do actually. So the whole mobile banking app will tailor to your needs, to, let's say, the time of the day. Let's say in the morning, again, you're busy, you don't want to see all the details, but afternoon, you are interested actually, on your mortgage payments and so on. It's actually easy to do, but I haven't seen any major big banks to come up with this idea. They've been really comfortable with their business model, and they didn't change anything. But new digital banks really start reshaping the industry. They can be cheaper. Again, digital banks, if you go and pay any fees, you can withdraw money from any ATM without fees. They have good exchange rates, and the customer service, it's much pleasant. So you send them like Facebook message, and you get a reply within seconds. So really easy. Right, okay, now let's come down to PSD2. So a couple of acronyms, I don't like it, but they use it a lot. So PSD2 is the Payment Service Directive, which is coming next January. API, that's what I mentioned. API, it's like magic door, is the interface between your bank and the other apps. So it's the application program interface. And today you use API on a daily basis. When you go to your favorite website and they ask you for login and you click, okay, login with Google account, that's API. So that website calls your Google account and gets all the details about you, and you don't need to log in, you don't need to create your profile. That's API. And as I mentioned, banking as a platform. We've seen services platform. So bank will be really scalable and digital. Payment initiation service provider. This is really interesting because there's this industry and these new players, the payment initiation and account information service provider. How to understand? So the payment initiation service provider, let's say Apple Pay or Android Pay, they are interface between seller and your bank, and they get fractional portion of the fee, but they generate a lot of money because they initiate the payment. And because previously it used to be MasterCard or Visa, but now it's still MasterCard, but it could be all these near field payments like Apple Pay. And the second one, account information service provider, you can understand it as an aggregator. Today, you might know Money Dashboard, which is the Edinburgh-located FinTech company. And they aggregate data from all your accounts and project your spending, your income, and help you to optimize your finances. But for that, you have to provide your login credentials because they don't have access to your bank account, obviously. But with the API, any authorized service provider will have access and will help you to, let's say, as I said, I have one case study, overdraft alert or utility service comparison tool or mortgage comparison tool. Right. So what's so now we're talking about a PSD2. What's the concept? So this is the directive, which is spearheaded by European Commission, but the UK is very much active in this action group, and the CMA, which is the Competitive Market Authority here in the UK, is also adopting and implementing this directive to the regulation. And the main I would say high-level goal is to create unified banking market in Europe. So for now, you have your local branch, but let's say, how many of you, let's say, have a banking account with Italian bank? It could be like local branch, let's say, but usually banks open their local branches, let's say Santander, Spanish bank, they have branches here. But what might happen, there is better rate in different country, or there might be better service, or they might, all these different banks or financial service providers, they might have different model. Nordic banks, again, better auto loans, for instance, motor insurance. But today it's really difficult to open bank account in other countries. So the main goal is to create open, unified market. And I would say the journey is really going from the domestic kind of market, opening. That's happened. That's the reality. It's opening next January. It's opening to non-financial and non-bank providers. We will see more Facebook-like or tech companies, or not even tech companies. It could be, any other companies. It could be your local utility company providing banking services. Now we've seen Sainsbury's, let's say the grocery supermarket chains. They have their own bank. So there are a lot of different sub companies providing the banking industry. But today you need a banking license, which is really difficult to get. And in 2018 we will have the financial institutions providing services without banking license. And the goal is to really get to the European open free market, where you would benefit from the scale of economy. It would be because when you have more customers, more providers, the market is more diverse, and there is a massive push for competition, for lower costs and better services. But there are benefits and there are challenges. So as I mentioned, increased competition. So you can imagine, because now we have a big four banks, and they keep the services pretty much same. And only one incentive is they would offer, let's say, switch bonus, like £200, but the service is still same. The main incentive is to get you to the bank and lock you in for some time, and then charge you fees or provide services which are pretty much similar to their competitors. But now with the increased competition, so the market will be open, we will see more competition and more push for new services, for niche services, for new products at lower costs. As Kevin Hanley from RBS said, we will experience unbundling or the modular banking. It's not going to be big banking house, might be smaller mortgage provider, or could be a company that focuses only on agriculture or students or different kind of groups. It will be really modular. So you might have 6+ accounts, really depending on the services you need. As I said, personalized banking. It's not just online app. It's completely different experience. New business model. As I said, bank as a platform. And challenges, security, right? Security. Now you can imagine, okay, then we will let third-party developers to use your data, and even though they might aggregate data, anonymized data, but still there is a quite good study that based on your, let's say, transaction behavior or shopping behavior, they can identify a person at, I don't know, 95 or 90%, because we have same behavior, and if you compare the anonymized data with the actual data, they can actually say, oh, it's you, because you shop in this way. So there's always problem with the security, and the government or regulators are really sensitive about this matter, because again, we talking about your pension, your savings. So white listing, so how it's going to work with the third-party companies? They will have to be authorized. So you can imagine Apple Store. So Apple authorized every developer, saying, okay, your product is legitimate, it's good, it's not breaking, our ethics, our code, and it's legal. So for banks, it's going to be pretty much similar. But what might happen? These big banks are defensive. They see new companies, FinTech companies, as the disruptors of their business. So they might be really protective, and they might say, oh, you have to actually meet all these criteria, like, I don't know, capital requirements and so on, which might be eventually very difficult to meet. So there is a independent institute which will authorize the third-party developers. It's not going to be banks, because banks are on one side of the barricade, and you have the third-party, companies on the other side. So there must be independent arbiter. And the last one, it's you. If you comfortable, lazy to stick with one bank for rest of your life, it's your choice. But if you're willing to switch and explore the amazing world of open banking, it's your choice. And so can you, I guess it's quite difficult, but these numbers, the first one is quite big. It's 1.2 billion pounds. This number represents bank's revenue which came from unarranged overdraft charges in the UK every year. So can you imagine that you have now a company which would alert you, oh, you overdraft. So yeah, pay those £50. Because for instance, one bank, I'm not gonna name, charge £5 every day is the flat fee, and then there is a percentage. If we get this under control, we can save £180 per customer a year. It's a nice dinner. Oh. So see, this is the one effect which is really tangible and beneficial for consumers. So as I mentioned, standardization. There's a really good Open Data Institute. It's playing a role as a independent standardization institute, and you see all the institutions around Data Institute form a forum to create the open API standard. Because now I had discussion before this presentation, it's not clear about the standards. So you might have one API for one bank as a protocol, as a software protocol, and then you have different API for different banks, which makes it quite difficult for developers and the other companies to create one universal solution. So obviously standard will make the whole situation easier, more stable and certain. Just, I will look at here, as I would say too much information, but this is McKinsey study again, and it's the effect of FinTech on banking. And you can see it as a fee and margin reduction based on the banking, I would say, sector and country. And if we look at the UK, the payments, for instance, this is one example, TransferWise. TransferWise is used by many people to move money abroad. And one example, if you want to send money to Zimbabwe today, unfortunately due to lack of the traditional infrastructure, banking infrastructure, you have to use either MoneyGram or Western Union, and you can pay up to 15% on your international payment. Right, okay, but let's go, what's the API? What's why does it matter? It's the API. I mentioned price comparison, better money allocation. That could be alert telling you, okay, you have £4,000 on your saving accounts. Do you want to invest into these financial products? There's this risk, there's a this return 5%, but if so, then I will move it automatically. Or if you just click, you agree, and it's moved, so it's gonna pick Nutmeg, for instance, or Vanguard or BlackRock, and all the documentation will be supplied by the bank. So you won't need to send your ID, your utility bill over and over again. That bank will keep it and send and create an account on your behalf. So because the API, because they will be able to send money and all documents over to the bank. bank services connected to other apps. It's amazing how you can really use your transactional data. We are planning something similar for our iBank, Alexa Bank, to connect your Fitbit to your bank account. That would be quite interesting, I would say, motivational to, let's say, if you don't meet your target for the day, 10,000 steps, you will send money to your partner, let's say 10 pounds, right? If you meet your target, if you exceed your target, then your partner will send money to you. So you can apply it, let's say, for your kids to kind of motivate them to exercise more. There are a couple issues. Let's say if you attach your Fitbit to a dog or something, so you can become quite rich. But yeah, so then you can connect anything Twitter to your not your account, but to bank, so you can monitor feedback and compare that feedback against the Twitter sentiment, because it's really, so the first slide, if you remember, the 71% of all millions would rather see their dentist than banker. It's all about trust. People are really dissatisfied with the banking industry. It's not just the personal experience, also all these scandals. We've seen a 27 billion pounds fine for PPI mis-selling for the insurance, personal insurance. So people see banks as a really, I would say, challenging, I would say, not trustworthy organization. So the trust is really important here. So making sure that you listen to your customers and you take their feedback into account, into consideration is really important. And Twitter these days become quite a powerful tool. Some presidents are a bit active on Twitter, but all of us also. The Twitter is a good channel, and it's really difficult to get any meaningful value because Twitter, it can be a lot of noise. So again, you need to have a quite sophisticated I would say algorithmic solutions to understand the sentiment from these channels. Bonzo Bank, they got full banking license just, it's been a couple of months, but they finally met the capital requirements for the full banking license back in February 2017, this year. So now they are fully ready and prepared to provide the mortgage accounts, the current accounts, saving accounts, and credit accounts. They will be releasing first product in January 2018. But I don't know, somebody said that they have Bonzo account. So who has Bonzo? Stefan?
Yeah.
So what's your experience? What's the...
instant message.
So you see the spending as soon as you spend, you see on your display, right? You don't
track your expenses.
That's brilliant, and because you don't have to wait 3 days to see your expenses, and you can see, oh, actually, okay, and then you can freeze your card, see, and you see actually the location. That's good. There was another gentleman. Yeah. Huh? Sorry. Yeah. So with Bonzo, for instance, do you use API? Because they have open API, so they will give you your... Oh yeah, but still you can, if you register, you would get the authorization token and all the credentials, and you can actually start downloading your transactional data. I have one example. You can actually see, based on the locations, like how much you spent in Glasgow last January. They have also categories, so you can ask how much you spent on entertainment in London in May, for instance. So it's really, I mean, the concept is easy, and you would always wonder why the big banks, HSBC, Barclays, Lloyds, why they don't have it. Because they haven't made a push. They've been too comfortable, and Bonzo is really reshaping. There are other banks. Oh, light. Wake up. So there are other banks, and RBS, I'm using RBS Blue Bank API, and RBS has been really innovative and been spearheading the PSD2 directive because they know it's coming. So they have API more than just the ATM locator. You can see your transactions. It's only prototype, so it's not your real account. They have some dummy accounts, but in terms of Bonzo, you can connect to your account. Same for Atom Bank, which is another challenger, digital bank, and Startland Bank. It's also digital. Okay, so the solution I would like to show you today is iBank. iBank is invisible bank because it stands for, it's invisible bank, and it means that it's everywhere. So you don't see it. You talk to your bank, you talk to your banker, but you don't see it. It's Alexa. So we use the interface, Alexa, it's voice interface. The prototype is it's just the beginning. It just would give you example what you can have, how bank can really transform. It's actually product of our team at Suprasteria. We went to Deutsche Bank hackathon back in February 2017 to work and present this solution. We're using RBS API, Alexa as an interface, and the main part, brain, sits on NodeRed, which is really interesting technology. It's the IBM technology, but it's community, it's open source, it's open. And it's really designed for IoT solutions, IoT, Internet of Things, so you can connect, as I said, anything. Fitbit, Twitter, then you can connect, let's say if you have Raspberry Pi solution, you can connect it to the NodeRed. And NodeRed has all the logic. Right, so I have a scenario here. So I'll be, because one aspect is once I start talking to Alexa, it's quite difficult to interrupt and explain what I'm doing, because then she would pick it up as a command and wouldn't recognize it and actually end. So what I'm gonna do, so I have my account. I will show you. Still have time, so second speaker is not here. Do I have time?
Easier, so I was looking at time Miro.
Okay, that's gonna be quick, so it's really a short presentation. So I'm gonna send money from my current account to my SEM account, and then I will send money to Martin. But okay, let me get this over here. Okay, one thing. So this is NodeRed, as you can see. It's lots of wiring, but I will explain it later if you are interested. But let's get this done. Alexa, open iBank.
Hi, welcome to iBank. Please provide your password to start banking.
My password is 42.
Your password is okay. Welcome, Miro. How can I help?
What is my current account balance?
Miro, your standard current account balance is £7,337. Anything else?
Send £10 to my savings account.
I transferred £10 from your current account to your savings account. Anything else?
Send £15 to Martin.
No problem. Security is paramount. Please say the PIN number I have just sent to your number by saying my security PIN is.
Okay. My security PIN is 21.
There's a problem with the requested skills response.
It isn't. Sorry, she died. But I will ask her. So the first payment was successful because so it didn't send me the text message. So the whole now finally 39. So just I can show you. So the whole concept of security. So we have a two layers. So first 42 is the what is it? 42. That's it, meaning of life. So it's just the first layer. They would authorize you to just the, let's say, internal transactions. But for any transaction which would send money from your account to the third party, you would need security. So we use just the randomly generated number. So Alexa sent £10. Alexa, open iBank. Alexa, open iBank.
Hi, welcome to iBank. Please provide your password to start banking.
My password is 42.
Your password is okay. Welcome, Miro. How can I help?
What is my current account balance?
Miro, your standard current account balance is £7,327. Anything else?
Send £15 to Martin.
No problem. Security is paramount. Please say the PIN number I have just sent to your number.
9.
By saying my security PIN is.
My security PIN is 9.
I have sent £15 from your current account to Martin. Account. Anything else?
Provide feedback.
Please rate by saying iBank is excellent or bad.
iBank is excellent.
Thank you. We are glad you enjoyed iBank. Anything else?
What is my current account balance?
Miro, your standard current account balance is £7,327. Anything else?
Provide feedback.
Thank you for using Invisible Bank. Talk to you soon.
Oh.
Have a nice day.
Yes. So you see, it's just a prototype. But what I want to show you, because that payment, those £15 I sent to Martin, takes a wee while because there is security. I'll just show you. This is my API, and if you can see this number over here. So now it's showing this number over here. So the payment actually happened. So, but for Alexa, so I wanted to ask her for feedback again because it takes 5 seconds for payment to be processed. But this is the actual API protocol. So you see, it's working. One more, if I can, last. Alexa, open iBank.
Hi, welcome to iBank. Please provide your password to start banking.
My password is 42.
Your password is okay. Welcome, Miro. How can I help?
What is my spending in London in May?
You spent £35 in London in May. Anything else?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for using Invisible Bank. Talk to you soon.
Right.
Have a nice day.
Right. So you see, it's working. It's a good interface. So obviously, there are a couple, glitches. You have to really think if your customer says something else, something you don't expect. But based on the predefined keywords, you can actually navigate back to your algorithm, and this is the main switch. So it would kind of vary based on the keyword. So send money to someone, that would go and also ask you for authorization. And as I said, 1 week or 2 weekends, and this wouldn't be possible without a team. And I have a couple of team members here, and this is from Dublin. So Stefan, so you met Stefan, he talked about the Bonzo experience. He's not in the picture, but he's a part of the team. And there is a task somewhere at the back. So just really briefly, task, just to close up this presentation, where do you see the main benefit of this iBank? Because you are part of the business development team. So if you can just, in a couple of words.
Absolutely. It was a great experience. We all got to see Dublin. But first of all, so I can see it's a great, from cost optimization. So the banks instead of having call centers. Second is accessibility.
Yeah.
So whether it's people with someone who is disabled who can't really get to the branch, or someone who lazy like me, don't want to go to the bench, you know. And also, it's like it seems like a great digital experience. Personally, myself, I would rather be using a phone app instead of actually calling or going to the branch.
That's it. Yeah, new generation. Yeah, new generation of customers is it's coming. All right. I haven't been over the time, but thank you very much. You were such a great audience, and please buy our iBank next year. Yeah, and thank you very much. Thank you.